welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and today we're going to be playing with the Suku 02 quad. This is I think the warmest of the quads. And I'm going to finally pull out the Salt New York makeup that I bought. If you're not familiar with Salt, I'll talk a little bit about it as we get into the video. And then I'll be pulling in some of my old favorites that I've been trying to incorporate more into the new products that I've been picking up. So if you're interested in seeing all that, just stay tuned. Hey, all my lovely friends out there. Today we are going to be doing Suku Salt New York and pulling in some old favorites. I think we're going to start with the by Terry. This is the Terribly Denseless Foundation. I recently did a video where I was talking about foundations and trying to find the right shades. And you know, it's really interesting. This foundation, it's a very thick foundation. It is a ultra smoothing, even matte radiance foundation. It is an anti-wrinkle serum foundation. And it is, I think, my favorite. Now, it's interesting when I say that, why that might be. One, I think it does really give a beautiful finish to your skin, whoever you are. I think it's really good for more mature skin, drier skin like mine. But what I'd also say is that it is, I think, a shade or half a shade deeper than most of my foundations. Now, why is that? It's because most of the time when I get matched with foundation, I get matched based on my undertone, which is very cool. I have rosacea and my skin tends to lean red, pink, whatever you want to say. And my undertones are very cool, very blue. I tend to look better in silver and white metals and not golds. Now, I can wear golds. I have gold earrings on today, or gold toned, but I tend to look better with cooler toned metals, clothes, those types of things. But my hair actually is, well, when the roots aren't like this, my hair is actually pretty warm. So I'm able to get away with like kind of a mix and I guess be more what people would say neutral. And when I go to get my foundation, because I am very pale, I tend to lean on going on the lighter side of the spectrum when I'm picking up a foundation. But in reality, I think I look better when I've picked up something that is actually a little deeper in tone. And one of the things I wanted to do is, as an example, I have this foundation in 2 shades. I have it in the Fresh Fair, which is the lightest shade they have. It's Fresh Fair 1. And it is much more of like a pinky shade. And then I have it in the one I just used, which is Medium Peach, which is shade 5. Those are the 2 shades. Now, first of all, I would say if this is 1 and this is 5, that's a problem because obviously there's not a lot of richness there. But what I would also say is these both work on me. This one, although pink, and it is pink, the Freshly Fair, it does have a peach undertone to it. The 5 definitely has a peach undertone to it. But neither one is really pale, really light, and really pink. Some other foundations that I've used that I like, but I think are a little too light for me, are like the new Tom Ford that I picked up, the Traceless. I really like this foundation, but wait till you see it next to these other 2. It's over here. Now, actually, it's got a warmer cast in a way. It's got more of like, not yellow, but it's got like more of a peachy, you can see it. It's definitely warmer. But it's a lot lighter. Now, if you look at the skin on my hands, then you would say this one matches the best anyway, and these two are too dark. But when you put it on my face, actually, it looks pretty good. So I've been, you know, going back and forth trying to decide like really what shade I am, and I don't think it's that simple. I think it's pretty complicated. You know, it is difficult. Everybody has, there's, you know, billions of people on the planet. We're all unique. We all have our own skin tone, color, undertone, all of those things. And you may find a foundation that is the perfect formula, but you just can't find the right shade. Or you might find the right shade that works best for you and you hate the formula. It does happen. I mean, it is a thing. But I think you can, you know, adjust. And if something's a little too light, you can warm it up. If something's a little too warm, put it down your neck. There's lots of ways to take a foundation that isn't, quote, perfect and make it work for you. And one of these days I'm gonna do a video with like all the different foundation shades, because I'm gonna bet every foundation that I have is like slightly different than the other. I'm fairly sure that there's not two that are exactly the same. So let's talk about Salt New York. So Salt New York is in New York. These are vegan leather, and they have cases. Now this case is the bigger case. This fits, I believe, 8 pans. And these are magnetic pans. So you could put whatever you want in here. You don't have to put their products. It's got a mirror. It's really beautiful. If you can see it, like, it's a beautiful product. This is the kind of thing that you would carry around, or I would carry around, and feel like this is a statement. It's just a stunning piece. And then inside you get to pick from highlighters, contours, blushes, etc. And they come in little sleeves. You know, you've seen these before. And then on the back, you've got, hopefully there we go, what it is. So lip, cheek, you know, type of thing. This one is cranberry. This is a cream tint pro in cranberry, lip and cheek. I picked these up over the holidays. Have I used them yet? No. So we're gonna use them today. So I have the shades. Cranberry, which I just showed you. I have Spice. I have Rose. And those are the lip and cheek products. Then I have, sorry, it takes me a minute to pull them out and I don't want to like wreck them. I have contour in, so this is Sculpt and Bronze technically, and this is contour. Now I don't remember what the if there was different ones of this one, like if there was different shades, I'll put down below if there was. I think there might have been only one contour shade, but I don't remember. I ordered these, I bought these like 2 months ago. Literally. Then there's the Sculpt and Bronze Light. So maybe this is light and the other one's called contour. That's possible. I'll put it down below so you guys know. This is light medium, Sculpt and Bronze. So maybe those are like more bronzers and the other one's more of a contour. That's probably what it is. And then highlight in Pearl. And highlight in Beige. They call it Radiant, but you know. And I'll swatch all of them for you as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start using them. So let's swatch the Rose. These are cream. And if I haven't mentioned it already, I bought these because of Kelly in Keep Beauty, from Keep Beauty Real. She did a video with these and has used them since. Back in December. So behind. Okay, so we've got Rose, Spice, and Cranberry. Then we have the contour shade. Now the idea of these, as you can probably tell, is, you know, sustainability and ease. since you can just, you know, put them in any palette, frankly, and just refill, you have less waste, and they're interchangeable. You can put whatever you like in these palettes, and you know, it makes for ease of use in addition to being better for the environment. This is the light and this is the light medium in the Sculpt. And then we've got the highlighters, which I'll put over here. Got Pearl, which looks like pearl. And we've got beige. Those are really pretty. Okay. So again, these are the Sculpts. These, I guess these are all up, but this is light, medium, light. This is contour, cranberry, spice, rose, pearl, and beige in the highlighters over here. Okay guys, let's go in with, let's use the contour shade first. Now I'm gonna use my fingers. I mean, I guess you could use these with, you know, brushes that are good for, brushes that are, can use creams and liquids, or you could use a sponge. I prefer to use my finger. I feel like the warmth of my fingers gives me a better look. And I also feel like, I don't know, I feel like I have more control, which I know like a lot of people do not like to use their fingers. I know that. So I'm just putting a little bit of the contour shade up into here to kind of like contour my face a little bit. Wow, that's perfect for me, for my skin tone. That's excellent. Not too deep, blended right in. I have super dry skin, especially right now. In Massachusetts, we haven't seen grass in, I don't know how long. I miss grass. Okay, so that's the contour shade. Now I'm gonna take the light shade in the Sculpt, which again, it's like a similar thing, but I'm gonna kind of go a little bit higher with it. Kind of where I'd put more of a bronzer. Now this particular shade is very light. It works really well for me. I think, you know, it's gonna blend in on anyone that has like a deeper skin tone. So you definitely wanna go light medium or deeper than that, because you can see it doesn't, like, for me it's perfect, but you know, as we discussed, I'm slightly pale. Yeah, so I think that's great. I actually wouldn't use the light medium. I mean, I'll use the light medium for you guys so you can see it. But you can see it's just like a little deeper. It's still not like, it's not really pigmented. It shears out pretty quickly. So if you're, I would say, medium skin tone, when they say light medium, they mean light medium. Like, I think the light is actually fair, and then I think the light medium is actually light. That's just my take, but. Okay, I like it so far. Feels a little tacky, but not. Okay, let's use highlighter next. I'm gonna use the beige first, and then I'm gonna go over it with the pearl. Again, just using my fingers. Oh wow, that's really pretty. Wow. How did I not use this before? Okay, and then I'll use the pearl just like right here. That is gorgeous. I love this. And I have Kelly to thank for me getting this, because I had seen Salt New York for years and I just never pulled the trigger on it, but then she used it and looks stunning on her. Kelly is an incredibly gifted makeup artist and everything she does looks fantastic. But this particularly, I don't know, something about it just sort of called out to me and it looks great. I'm thrilled. Okay, so I'm gonna use the cranberry very sparingly because it's the brightest shade. Now, I think it's going to, yeah, it's gonna sheer out. So I wouldn't be like afraid of it, but I wanna show you the other shades. So I think it would be fine on someone. I mean, look, you can see how easily that sheared out. And as you know, as we've said ad nauseum, I'm very pale. But I wanna show you the other shades. So I don't wanna use too much of it, but look at how pretty that is. And so if you're a deeper skin tone, I would say the cranberry is the way to go because it's the most pigmented of the three. Then we're gonna use the spice. It's a spice. The spice is my favorite. It has like more of a warm, bronzy almost. Yeah, I really like that one. That's my favorite. The rose is beautiful too, but yeah, I have to have it off. I mean, I don't have to have a favorite. So then we'll use the rose and we'll just put it like right here. And if you're looking for like a pink and a light shade, I would say that's probably the one. But at this point, I mean, I've kind of mixed them, but you saw them on my arm. So you can see they're not super pigmented, but they are beautiful. Yeah, I really like them. I think they look great. So I am gonna use the spice on my lips at the end, but I wanna get into the Suku so you guys can see that. Kelly, this is awesome. I absolutely love it. It's great. You can get them in smaller sizes. Like I said, this is the big one. There are like ones that hold 4 and it's a much smaller size. And it depends on what you're looking for. I wanted to try it kind of all at once. Plus it had a great deal going on. I don't know if there's any sales right now, but certainly, take a look and see what you think because they are beautiful. Okay, so this is the Suku 02. And this is, I think, the warmest of, I gotta make sure I don't have, let's do it this way. I think it's the warmest of the quads. I've done the 03, the 101, 03, 101, and the 01. And of those, the 01 is the pinkest, I guess is the best way to say that. The 101 is probably the most unique. It's the one that's got the kind of like orangey shade and then that like bluish gray turquoise kind of thing. It's beautiful. And then the 03 is similar to this, a warm color story, but it's a little cooler. Okay, so let's go in, just play with it a little bit. We're gonna take the classic crease brush from Sonia G. This is a wide brush circumference. So if you're looking for something, we're gonna go into like kind of the matte-ish shade. If you're looking for something that is gonna get into a very small area, I wouldn't suggest this brush because it does diffuse the look. I like that. A lot of times that's what I'm trying to go for, But if you're trying to do a very specific like area, or you have a very hooded lid or very small eyelid space, then you might want to use something more like the mini booster, which I will use in a minute. I actually ordered more brushes. I ordered some Chikuhodo brushes. I'm in a weird buying mode right now. Like, I haven't bought anything, but I want to. You ever get in those where like there's nothing you need, but you're like, I want to buy things? I don't know why, other than there's a lot of pretty things out there, but I mean, you know, I have plenty. Like, I don't need anything. If you guys were to look at my closets, you'd be horrified. You'd be like, Jen, you need stuff. Although I will say, I have been buying clothes, jewelry, you know, for 20 some odd years now. And I have always subscribed to the belief that it's quality over quantity. So the things that I bought have always been what I would say are more classic, timeless, whatever you want to say, looks. So like I have clothes that I've worn literally for 20 years. Like, I don't get rid of things. I have shoes that I've worn for, I mean, shoes do fall apart a little bit more, but honestly, 15 years, easy. Like my Todds, I have Todds, they're called Gomini moccasins. Like they're just, you know, loafers. And I've had those for forever. My Gucci loafers I've had for forever. Like seriously, more than 10 years. And I'm gonna go into this deeper shade here. Yeah, and this is the mini booster. You can see mini booster, classic crease. Same type of brush, but much smaller. Yeah, I believe in, if you spend money on something that's really good quality, you should be able to keep it like a really long time. I've had one watch since I turned 40. My husband bought me a watch when I turned 40, and you know, that's the watch I wear, and I'm gonna be turning 50 in a year and a year and what month are we in? February. A year and 3 months. And to be honest, I mean, like, maybe I'll want another watch, but probably not. I mean, I'm like that. Like, you know, if I would rather have the one thing that I really, really love and take care of and appreciate than like 10 things that aren't quite what I want. You know what I mean? It's like ice cream. Like, I'm not an ice cream person, but I've always been of the belief, like, if you're gonna have ice cream, have ice cream. Like, have a smaller amount of it if that's what you're trying to, like, if you're trying to limit your intake or whatever, that's fine. But then have the really good ice cream, just have less of it. I'd rather have that than lots of like an inferior thing. You know, that's just me. But okay, so then let's take the Chikuhodo F06. That was just a long way of saying I have a lot of things in my closet, but many of them are very old. And I just keep stuff forever. So this is like a pumpkin shade. Oh, this is very pretty. I'm gonna put this all over the eye. Yeah, like my coats, I have a couple of Mascara coats that what I do is I wait until the sales in January. There are great sales in January. Now, you don't always get like exactly what you want because your size might be sold out or your color might be sold out. But if you're patient like I am and you're willing to wait, you know, like years, which I've done, for the exact thing you want, it can pay off. Yeah, I'm very patient. Like I decide on the thing that I want, and then I will literally, if I have to, wait years to get it. Like I wanted a Christian Dior Lady Dior bag, and there was a particular shade that I wanted, and I waited 15 years to buy that bag. I mean, it's an investment. It's an expensive bag. So, you know, time and patience, you can get there. But I'm not like a splurge person. That's just not who I am. Like, I'm not the kind of person who's like, I one day, like right now, I really want to buy something, but I would never like just go buy a $5,000 purse or something. I just don't do that. I plan, like I put together a list. I'm like, these are the things I want. And then I plan it out for like 10 years. Very long-term planning kind of person. Like, that's just who I am. Okay, I think that looks great. I'm gonna go in with the 03 Wayne Goss and just buff out the top before I put on the topper shade. Now, makeup, I'm a little different. Like, I do plan what I buy for the channel because it's important to have a budget and know, you know, it's a business, know what I'm spending. But absolutely, I see things and I'm just like, ooh, shiny. I must buy that. Let's go with the topper shade. I'm just gonna put it on the eye and then I'll use it in the inner corner and on the top. But for the most part, I am pretty good. I don't generally get thrown off my plan about what I'm gonna buy. But I will say, recently I saw the, this is the Sonia G Soft Shader. It's a really great brush for pretty much anything. I'm gonna use it for the really light shade. I'm just gonna put that in the like brow bone area. This is very much like a topper shade. It's like a peachy shade. There's not a ton of pigment because like I said, it's a topper, but it is very shiny, and I think it looks really pretty on the eye. I'm gonna use my only Morphe brush and use that for inner corner as well. Recently, I did see the Surat new eyeshadow quads. Surat, what they do is that you can buy the individuals and make your own palettes, or every once in a while they come out with their curated palettes. And I have to say, I love the Surat formula and I love the shades. And the two new ones that they came out with, I have like 2 of the shades that are in there, or maybe 1, I can't remember, but I still want to buy them. Do I need them? No, but I do want them because they looked really pretty. So every once in a while, I'm like, ooh, that's not what I had thought of, and then I want it. I'm gonna go in with the second shade we did is kind of the terracotta shade, and do under the lower lash line. I also, with my poll that I put up on Instagram, I'm gonna pick up something from Nomad Cosmetics. And if you're not familiar with Nomad Cosmetics, they are an indie brand, and I'll be very honest, I discovered them really through, well, a couple people, but really Stephen of Fortitude. If you want to check out his channel, I'll have his information in my description box. And he did a look with the Iceland palette. I was like, I have to buy that. Like, it was so pretty. I don't know if you guys are interested in seeing it. I don't know if I'll necessarily use it on the channel. I'd like to, you let me know. But I really thought it was beautiful. The Iceland palette to me like looks stunning. And they just came out with their Shanghai palette. And then Cara from Beauty and the Frizz, she did looks with it. Like, she did a week-long thing with it. I'll make sure her information is in the description box. Basically, she did like a travel thing, like come with me to Iceland, and like did all these looks. Stunning, just stunning. So anyway, all that to say is, yes, sometimes I get distracted and go, ooh, pretty, I have to have it. Okay, so let me bring you in so you can see the look. And then we'll put some mascara on, and then we'll do lips. Okay. That is the 02. And what I would say, which I've said for every Suku palette, I know I sound like a broken record, it's beautiful. I think it looks stunning. I love it. I've loved all of them. The outstanding shade in this one, to me, is this, what I would call pumpkin. It's like a pumpkin spice shade. So for me, like, this is the perfect autumn look. Like, it's just exactly what I'd want if I was doing a pumpkin spice. I just think it's gorgeous. Love it. Absolutely love it. Obviously, there's no such thing as like autumn, spring look. Like you can wear whatever makeup you want any time of the year. We all know that. But if you're doing the sort of traditional color scheme, I love this for autumn. Okay, so let's do mascara. Let me curl my lashes really quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so lashes are curled. Mascara. We're gonna use the Yves Saint Laurent The Shock mascara. This is a sample. Let me show you the brush. And I was actually inspired by, and I wanna make sure, her name is Liz, but I wanna make sure I have her Instagram name right. It's Chicago_luxury makeup. I'll make sure it's in the description box. And she recently did a samples video, basically, like all the things that you get in your samples, you know, that you never use. And I was like, I should go through my samples. And I might, Liz, I might totally steal your idea. Don't worry, I'll give you credit. And do a sample video, because I have like samples of everything that I don't use them. It's terrible. So I thought I'd pull this one out and just see what we think. Now, okay, now as I said, this brush, as I showed you, it has like a barbell shape. And the thing about these is that you basically have, you know, the smaller side in the middle, and then it's wider here and wider here. And one of the reasons to do that in a brush is because no matter which eye you put it on, how you're holding it, the wider part is always hitting the inside and the outside of your lashes. So ostensibly, as you switch, it should still get the same coverage. If you only have the wide part of the brush at the bottom and you're doing it here, it hits the outside of your lash. And if you do this, it hits the inside of your lash. You'd have to switch it around to make sure that you get the same part of the brush on the same part of your eye. So that's kind of the idea behind, you know, like this barbell shape. And I get that, I do. However, I feel like, and maybe it's just because, and I know nobody is gonna cry for me here, my lashes are too long. When I tend to have this shape, like they hit, I don't know, like they hit my eyelid. So I mean, I always end up with mascara on my eyelid. I end up with mascara on my eyelid practically all the time, no matter what I do. Like, I don't care like what brush it is, I end up with mascara on my eyelid. That is obviously a user error and not the mascara's fault. But I'm just saying, that is a problem for me. And with these types of brushes, it seems to be worse. Again, that's my problem. I'm sure people who are more skilled at putting on their mascara don't have that problem. But that is why I don't tend to use this shape of brush. I like a either narrow brush, kind of like the Marc Jacobs that lashed. That's probably one of my favorites. Or I like a curved brush that's like really big, and I just use it on my upper lashes, like the Jones Road. Those are two of my favorites. I also like the Christian Dior Overcurl, and that looks a lot like the Jones Road. It's just smaller. I also have one lash, like on this eye, that won't go in the direction of any of the other lashes. Ever. I don't know why. It always goes in the opposite direction. It's the weirdest thing. Like the curler doesn't, you can't tame that one lash. Been like that for years. It's like, no, I'm going my own way. Okay. Not helping us out here, guys, but this is this one lash. It's the freakiest, and I try to like get it to cooperate, but it won't. It's like it goes backwards. I don't know. You know, in the scheme of things, it's not the worst thing to deal with. So that's the mascara. I think it's nice. I like the At Lashed and the Jones Road and the Christian Dior more, and the Chanel. But I think it's a nice mascara. I'll kind of tilt my head down so you can see it against, you know, like against my skin. I think it's pretty. I think it looks good. Not my favorite brush though. It's just not my thing. Okay, so let's go back to the salt and just use the Spice The spice was the one that like medium. And again, you know, these are gonna be more sheer. But you can build it up. There you go. That looks great. I think that's a really pretty shade. Well, for me, I think that's like perfect. Now everything is dried down. Nothing is tacky anymore. I still get that shine from the highlight, but it doesn't, you know, doesn't feel that way on my skin. Yeah, loving the Salt products. Thank you so much, Kelly, again, for finally pushing me into buying them. And the Suku 02 is beautiful. If you like, if pumpkin spice latte is your color story, like that's your, you know, you're gonna love this. Because that shade, I think, is a standout shade. It's just really pretty. The other shades are beautiful too, but that's the one that calls out to me. Usually in a quad, not always, but usually there's like one shade that just, you know, like will call me in. And the others will still be beautiful, but like there'll be one that's my favorite. And you know, that's the one for me. Very rarely will I find a quad where all the shades are just like, sometimes, but anyway. So there you go, guys. That's the final look. I think it looks really fresh, really nice. I look healthy. It has something to do with the foundation that I've used, because that by Terry, as we talked about at the beginning, has more of a warmth to it, a peach tone. But I also think it's the cream products. I think I have very dry skin and mature skin, and so cream products I think work really well for me. So if you haven't tried out Salt, check out their site. I'll make sure everything is in the description box. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.